I'm adjusting to my new life. This time, I'm not living in New York City. I'm living in Jersey, literally right outside of New York City. And I'm commuting a total of 1 hour each way to get to work. I work in Upper East Side, so I have to take the bus from Jersey to New York, Penn Station. From there, I take the train and I switch a few times to different trains. And then I have to walk 7 blocks to my job. It takes a total of an hour. And then on the way home. So I'm trying to adjust to my new life, but it's hard because the first time I lived in New York, it was with, my fashion friends. We lived in New York City. Like, I literally lived a block away from Madison Square Garden. Like, where I lived, the apartment above me, before Madonna became Madonna, she lived there, obviously a long time ago, like in the 80s or early 90s. But anyways, so I'm kind of super homesick because I'm literally all alone. My cousin is pursuing her, her dreams of acting. So she's super busy and I'm, working a lot and super lonely. And so one day, my first boyfriend, who we broke up, sends me a text message and it's a picture and it's like the train station. And I want to say it was like the 6 train. I don't remember, but I think it was the 6 train picture. And he calls and tells me like, hey, I moved to New York too. And I was like, why'd you move to New York? And he's like, because you're here. And I'm like, but we're not together. Long story short, he moved to New York City. Such a sweet guy. Tried to maybe see if he could, win me back, but my heart wasn't in it. So to this day, he still lives in New York City. I will say he is married, has a beautiful wife, and so good for him. So he's good. But for me, I'm lonely at this point, and unfortunately, when it comes to love, I don't make good choices at this time in my life. And so I am texting and I am communicating with that person that I had met at my job right before moving to New York. And one day, I had a lot of connections in New York City from, living there and in the fashion world. So one of my connections said, hey, there's a store. They are opening up their flagship. They're having a fashion party. You can come as my +1. And I was like, okay, cool. So he's like, this is a good opportunity for you to network and just kind of, get out there. So I did. I was just networking, just talking, just being myself. At this point, I am like fearless. I'm super confident. What I want, I get. Like, that was my mindset. So I was speaking to this older gentleman, kind of just telling him like how I literally packed 2 suitcases, bought a one-way ticket, didn't even know where I was staying until 3 days before. And I'm here because I'm going to pursue my fashion dreams. And at the end of the party, he came back up to me and he was like, like I already knew his name, but he's like, what I didn't tell you is that I am head of PR at a really, really big fashion company, like one of my top 3. And he's like, I would love for you to send me your resume because I want you to work for me. I love your mindset, your energy. And I was like super happy. It was worth that that taxi ride from the city to Jersey. I remember it cost me like $98, and I was like sick with life because I'm like, I am poor. How am I gonna pay for this? But it was worth it. So sadly, your girl did not make the best choice, and instead of running with that opportunity that landed on my lap that I should have thanked God for, I didn't appreciate it enough that I was just so homesick that I called my godfather, because the one day I had called my god sisters and they were like barbecuing and I was so lonely and I could hear the music in the background. I could just imagine the smells, and I was lonely. So I called my godfather and I was like, Papi, I'm super, super homesick. I just want to come home. And of course he was like, Nena, I'm getting you a flight. You're coming home. Because like literally the day before I flew to New York, he sat me down and basically tried to talk me out of it and said he didn't want me to go to New York. And I was like, no, I've been waiting for this moment since I was 13. Like, I'm going. And so, of course, he bought me the ticket and I came home, which was not the right decision because I should have toughed it out. Like, I should have toughed it out, and I worked so hard to get to that point, and I literally threw it away. And I never got that opportunity again. So now I'm back home to wonderful Cleveland, and obviously I'm with like my two best friends, my sisters, like my god sisters, and I start to entertain that guy that I met at my job right before I moved. And meeting him was a blessing and a curse. It was a very toxic relationship. It was completely different from my first boyfriend. This guy he belittled me. He was very condescending. And even though I knew he wasn't good for me, I couldn't help but to want to chase like the high of that relationship, the craziness. I don't know why, but I'm just being fully transparent, fully honest. And so before I decided to, move back, I was communicating with him, and he was like, you should come back here and then we can go back to New York together. And like a fucking idiot, I trusted this person, and I was like, okay. So, obviously I came back, and within 3 weeks of me moving back, he already was, onto his games of, I'm sure, cheating, playing me, not answering his phones, the typical stuff. Well, I came back in September of that year, and in the next year, I think it was, when was it? May, yes. May, I found out I was pregnant. I was 23 years old, and I was pregnant. And that is going to lead into a whole journey of things, which is how led me back to Lucy and Ricardo, which then leads to the big bombshell of the end of this story.